Hello viewers, welcome to the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. And here are the latest stories from around the world. First, the headlines. Australian referendum on First Nations recognition. Political unrest in Gabon. France-Niger diplomatic standoff. Details coming on shortly. In politics, Australian referendum on First Nations recognition. Our first story takes us to Australia, where a historic referendum is set to take place on October 14. Over 17 million registered voters will decide whether to change the constitution or to recognize the country's First Nations people. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has emphasized that this vote is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to bring the nation together and address centuries-old issues. The referendum has sparked passionate debate on both sides as Australians contemplate the impact of constitutional change. And still on politics, political unrest in Gabon. And turning to Africa, political turmoil is brewing in Gabon, where a group of senior military officers has claimed to have seized power. This comes after the state election body announced President Ali Bongo's re-election for a third term. The situation adds to a series of coups in West and Central Africa, posing challenges to democratic progress in the region. The international community is closely watching developments as tensions continue to rise. And shifting our focus to international relations, tensions between Japan and China. Concerning international security, tensions have escalated between Japan and China following the release of treated radioactive wastewater from Fukushima. Online harassment and vitriol directed at Japanese individuals and businesses have raised concerns about the relationship between the two nations. The Japanese embassy in China issued warnings to Japanese residents urging caution in public spaces. China's heavily censored internet has been abuzz with outrage, highlighting the sensitive nature of the situation. You are watching the news on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us, and still to come. And thanks for staying with us. Back to politics. France-Niger diplomatic standoff. In diplomatic affairs, France's ambassador to Niger is defying a military junta order to leave the country. The ambassador's refusal stems from France's stance on recognizing only the deposed President Mohamed Bazoum as Niger's legitimate authority. This standoff underscores the complexity of international relations amid political upheaval and coups in the Sahel region. Away from that, in business, boost in Nigeria-Indonesia trade. And shifting our attention to economic matters, the trade volume between Nigeria and Indonesia saw a remarkable 83% increase in 2022, reaching $4.78 billion. This surge highlights the untapped trade potential between the two countries. To further enhance this trade relationship, the Nigeria-Indonesia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, along with the Indonesian Embassy, is gearing up to host the 2023 Trade Expo Indonesia. And this event aims to foster economic collaboration and create new avenues for trade and investment. And that wraps up our global news update for today. Before we go, let's take another look at the major stories. Australian referendum on First Nations recognition. Political unrest in Gabon. France-Niger diplomatic standoff. And thanks for joining us. I am Jonathan Poway. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles and stay informed. Remember, knowledge is power. Do have a wonderful day.